is, what are the core principles and designs for your business model?
Okay, so when I started the company 12 and a half years ago, for me, in the textile industry, it goes wrong. And it has to do with the volume. Can you hear me good or not? Yeah, okay. And to make clothing in a proper way, not too far away with organic cotton, for instance, or non-toxic dye stuffs and things like that, and pay the people well in the whole chain is, for me, should be a normal thing. So that's number one. But we also, and what that differs really from other companies, that we also care about what we put on the market. And that means that we, as a company, feel responsible for products we put into the market. And we also would like to have them back to reuse. So that makes us a circular company. And it also tells us that we have to think in design about circularity. If you are a company and you think, oh, I've got a lot of waste and how am I going to recycle this? That's nice, but it's better if you start at designing your product and then think, one day I will get this back, and how is it possible? How is the easiest way to recycle things? And that's the whole thing that our company was based on, the circularity foundation. Does that answer your question? Or
It does. Thank you.
hello, Wallerand Sandberg.
Yes, hello.
Welcome to the webinar. We started already.
Yeah, I'm sorry for joining
Doesn't
so
matter.
late.
My name is Bert, and we have Mohammad and Stefan here from our company. We do this monthly, and the students can ask their question one by one, and then we try to reply as good as we can and open as we can, and hopefully the answers will also be interesting for the other students. So let's go to Jesse. What's your first question, Jesse?
My first question is, what challenges do you face on your road to 100% recycled jeans?
Okay. There's a lot of challenges. The first challenge is that we are a circular company in a linear economy, which is next to impossible to implement. But okay, to go to 100% post-consumer waste recycling, and there's a big difference between post-consumer and pre-consumer, as you know, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that clear? Okay. Post-consumer is, of course, more difficult because it's not easy to create a mono stream of material. And we've always believed that 40% was sort of the maximum to use, and then mix it with new, fresh organic cotton. But since a few years now, I think about 5 or 6 years, but correct me if I'm wrong with Stefan and Mohammad. But I think about 5 or 6 years, there's now the chemical recycling also coming up. So you've got mechanic recycling and chemical. And our idea was, okay, with the chemical recycling, you can have this fine fiber, more like a viscose yarn, which is not good for a sturdy pair of jeans. But if you mix the two qualities, mechanical and chemical recycling, you can make a yarn that's very strong and also has the denim look. And that's what we've tried now. We started 3 years ago with the University of Saxion to find out what percentage of one and what percentage of the other to make a good yarn, weave it and dye it and see what happens. So on a laboratory scale, we did this. So we have 1 square meter of 100% post-consumer waste denim. But to bring that to market and to have manufacturers that really want to do this is complicated. You need volume. You need to test things, the wet rubbing, the dry rubbing, the strength testing, all those tests have to be done. And the dyeing is still difficult. The outcome is not the one we would like to have. So what we did now, we went up to 70%. So with our anniversary of 12 and a half years existence of the company, in February, we'll bring to market a 70% post-consumer waste pair of jeans. This is correct, Stefan, that we started, and we make a big marketing thing out of it also, because we think it's unbelievable, but we have to do
it's part of the rebranding. Yeah,
it's quite unique. Yeah, and the obstacles are, of course, financing all this, technical issues. When you invent something new, it's always, there's a lot of obstacles. Financially is one of the most important ones. It's, as a small company, actually, I always say that I don't think we should do this with the bigger companies, but they don't do it, so we have to do it. And for us, of course, these charges are on the volume we do, which is small still, are very high. So that's a challenge. Any other things that I forget, Stefan, maybe, or Mohammed?
I don't think so.
Challenges to get to the 100% post-consumer waste pair of jeans? I don't think so. I think I've said roughly most of it.
What's interesting from a marketing or messaging perspective, so it's quite new. So a lot of people don't know what it is. If you say, I've got a pen made of organic cotton, people will understand what it is. If you say, I've got a pen made of recycled cotton, post-consumer plus some organic cotton, it's a complicated message.
Yeah.
Without getting into technical details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point you say there. Sorry?
Yeah, it's difficult to get a simple message with all the information inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for
Absolutely. So
instance, other brands they're saying we do recycled materials, and they use pre-consumer materials. So the waste which is generated when the products are made in the factory. So that's new stuff. We get old jeans back, send them to Spain for recycling, and make new yarns out of it, which is way more complicated. But if people read that these pair of jeans from brand X are made from 50% recycled materials, and we say we are 40%, they think the other brand is more sustainable, which they are not. But it's hard to get across, and you don't want to get into a sort of fighting in a fight about this, because all these brands are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can ask a question, how do you select which jeans are all right for recycling? So I think
So we
not
ask-
all jeans can be used.
Yeah. Can you introduce yourself? What's your
I'm
first
sorry,
name?
I'm Valorant, but you can call me
Valorant, okay.
Wal.
Wal.
And I'm studying in Utrecht, and
Okay.
I'm doing a paper about the circular economy in the fashion industry, and I'm thinking about how we can get the consumer more educated about the process.
Well, we would love to hear your insights,
Yeah.
because that's the thing we are struggling with for the last 12 years. So if you
Yeah,
have a
it's really-
bright idea, we're very much interested.
Yeah, I
But
thought
you thought
Yeah,
I
it's
made
really
the most difficult question. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. So we ask our customers to send only jeans back from our brand, firstly. Then secondly, we open up for other brands also, but it has to contain more than 95% cotton. And yeah, how do we select that? We look at the fabric, and we also look at what's inside the jeans. We have to believe what's there. And that's what we use for our recycling process. Nora, you're on. Your second question. Still 4 to go.
Perfect. My second question is, how do you enhance the well-being of both direct customers and end consumers?
What's the difference between direct customers and consumers?
So
What do you mean by-
direct, like where it's like, for example, if you have B2B or
Okay.
something like
yeah.
that. So that's yeah.
So that's interesting, because for consumers, you don't get skin cancer from our jeans because there's no toxic material in it. And for B2B customers, for stores, I know that one of the reasons that Mr. Patagonia started his company, it's written in his book, by the way. He delivered his first clothing to the store in Boston, and the people in the store, working in the store, got sick of the air and the dye stuff that came off of the fabrics at that time. So that's why he started to say, listen, we have to do something differently. Our jeans are made of organic or recycled cotton with non-toxic indigo, with no chemicals that are used for bleaching. All those things are not used. So we believe that also in the stores, the air is purer than in other stores.
Can I add, Bert? Nora, there are, say, about 10% of people, depending per country, which are very motivated to buy sustainable goods. So we offer them a choice, and we have chosen to go circular instead of organic cotton. So we make the combination. So we are answering their demand. They want to contribute to a greener planet for themselves, for their kids, whatever. And but the most important thing is that's why we are still struggling with this, is people buying jeans. So not these 10%. So they will make an offer. They will spend more money because our jeans are much more expensive. But the larger consumer group, say we call them the light green people internally, which is not a term, but you know what I mean, I guess. They want first high quality, good fit, good price, comfort, etc. And to convince them to buy sustainable jeans, and not only for us, but also for the other sustainable brands. That's more complicated. So we've been working hard on a very good collection of jeans, which ticks all the boxes, like comfortable. You can wear them for years. They fit right. The pockets are nice. You don't get any damages, etc., etc. So it's a bit different answer than Bert gave, but they're both true. And I think, Bert, that if you go to stores, we give them a really good margin, same as the non-green competitors. And here the same is, I think, through the stores catering to the dark green consumers. They want us because people will come to them. But the light green stores have to be convinced in other ways also. So quality, margin, and sustainable story.
Yeah, and there's one more thing that we do for B2B customers, because I'm talking here all day long to storekeepers. One of the challenges they have is that they have to buy in the beginning of the season stuff, sell it during the season, and they will end up with 1/3 of what they bought and put that into sales. What we do, we have a never out of stock system. So our whole chain is built on pull of the market. So we only produce what the market is asking for. It's actually rare that we are sales. We are on sales now, which is not our idea, but normally we only produce what's demand from the market. So when you are a retailer and you have a store and you buy a model and you sell 3 pieces, you can reorder them and be delivered the next day. So that takes away a big financial challenge for the stores. And for us, it's very interesting to know which brand, which model, and which color at that time works well. And we can reorder if necessary from our Tunisian factory, who has all the fabrics in stock and can react very quickly. So we have a very short production lineup, which is fantastic, because if you work with I know working with Chinese producers, for instance, you have to order a lot, 6 months in advance, get delivered, shipped, I don't know how many miles, and then, we work with a Tunisian factory, which is 1 day shipping from Tunis to Marseille. So we also try to keep our production circle as short as possible in order to prevent CO2 emission. And there's a lot more, which you can read in our sustainability report. But these are some of the answers. Let's get to Jesse. I hope these answers also are interesting for the other students.
Yeah. And you said you collect all jeans. Do you experience obstacles with this collection of all jeans?
Yeah, it's very complicated to do so. And it also, again, there we are different from our competitors. All these costs for getting back all jeans are, you have to calculate them somewhere. So that makes it difficult. But besides that, you have to imagine that you are the logistic partner of Mud Jeans. Then there's a lot of work, because first of all, you have our new collection that you ship out to stores or to consumers. Secondly, some people return their jeans because the fit's not right or want to exchange. Then people put in the old packages their old jeans because they can get €10 discount if they send back their old jeans, which we believe. So you have to tick the box and then we give you a €10 discount, and you use the same package that you got to send back your old jeans. These old jeans are coming back. There are 3 options. One is it's a pair of mud jeans, still good, or can be repaired or washed, and we use it for our second-hand sales. Second is can be repaired. Sorry, that's the second one. And the third one is it's a good pair of jeans. It's 95% cotton, and we put it in the bin that goes once a month to Spain for our recycling project. So logistically, this is a nightmare and very costly, but it has to be done. There's no other way. And then we have the stores that also, if they want, because we make it a free option, can take old jeans back and give €10 discount to their customers. And every once in a while, we get boxes full of old jeans from the 250 stores that work with this within Europe. And all that is quite costly. But we do it, we gather all together and ship it to Valencia. And this is also one of the reasons why we do not want to go, for instance, to the United States, because I don't believe in shipping back old jeans back and forth over the ocean. So if we start in another continent, we prefer to find someone who wants to take over the blueprint and do the same thing, but then, for instance, in the United States or something like that.
I understand. Thank you.
Sorry, I got a call 1 second. Yeah.
I think
Well,
a lot of my questions are already answered.
that's good.
But what do you think is the? Do you notice the change in technology through the years in your journey, 12 years?
Absolutely, yes. There's been big changes. When we started 12.5 years ago, and we were talking about the circular economy, people would look at us and thought we were crazy. But in the meantime, a lot happened. For instance, one of the days I really remember is William McDonough. I don't know if you know him. He's the writer of the book Cradle to Cradle. He called me and said, Bert, I'm a big fan of you. I like what you do. Leasing jeans was one of my ideas 30 years ago, and you're putting it into the market. It's fantastic. But you're recycling toxic material, and that's not a good idea, which I agree with. But he came up with the solution. He said, we now have non-toxic indigo, so you can use that, and that's much better. And there's many examples of things that happened in the last 12 years about recycling of clothing, the dye stuffs, you can bleach today with ozone, which wasn't possible 12 years ago. You can do the laser the jeans to make it look a little bit worn out. There's a lot of techniques, which are, again, you can read about them in our sustainability report. But yes, there's been technically a lot happening. Technically, nearly everything is possible now. The only thing now, and that's why Stefan is here also, the most difficult part is now to convince consumers in a 5-second message that this is really the way forward. This is our biggest challenge, actually.
So you take
Laura,
a look at the
question number
website
3.
in, say, 4 weeks, because
Yeah.
it's going to be changing big time. We now have a creative director on board, and we are going to be more, well, we're going to be looking more fashionable. So
Exactly.
we want to use the power of fashion to attract more customers to a sustainable business. And that seems like a contradiction. So this is our new slogan. It's not out there yet. It
It's
was
a
next 4
secret.
weeks. So we are working with other kind of models, other kind of photographers, etc. To so use the power of fashion, which we all know, and help sustainable fashion grow with it. So it's an exciting time to be in. Yeah.
Yeah, watch this.
Yeah.
Laura, question number 3, or have they all been answered now?
Yeah, I have to leave in
No,
about
not
3 minutes. It's my first time in this meeting because somebody planned another meeting for me in 5 minutes. So it's my first time being here. So I'll be out in 2 minutes.
I'll see you in February then.
Yeah.
I'm on holiday in February, so you have to do it with Mohammad next time, okay?
Okay, I will. Good.
I'll merge the 2 questions. So what are
That's
the
okay, no, don't
initiatives-
worry. You're lucky because you only have 3 students now, so this is your lucky day. Go ahead.
Perfect. What are some of the initiatives that you undertook to improve the consumer well-being? And if like you implemented those initiatives, then what are the metrics that you've used in order to assess the success of those initiatives?
Stefan, this one is for you before you leave.
Well, that's a hard question because I only joined in October, so I don't know the results from the past. But if I get you well, Nora, what we are trying to do is see what the different messages, which results they get. So we do a lot of testing. We do a lot of testing in newsletters. We do a lot of testing in socials to see what resonates with the customer. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, I was asking like what are initiatives that you implement to kind of like contribute to the customer or consumer well-being. So if you implemented an initiative in the store, for example, to get the customer engaged with Mud Jeans, but at the same time maintain their well-being, what are those initiatives? And then how did you assess the success of those initiatives internally?
Yeah, Bert, I've only been here for 3 months, so I can't answer the question. Well,
Yeah, this has not been our strongest point, to be honest. We've been very much focusing on techniques, on finding the right partners to work with on the production side. And marketing wise, there's a lot to be improved and also to be measured. There's a difference between online and offline marketing, I would say. Online, of course, there's a lot of tools that you can use and have some idea of who is attending and who is going to your website.
Yeah.
Although that also has been changing a lot with Facebook changing its ways. It's much harder now today when you send out a message, how it is conceived and how many people look at it. So it's
small brand.
hard to say.
Maybe Nora, what can you define what you mean by well-being? Is this physical well-being, mental well-being?
We're encompassing the definition of well-being. We took it from OCD, so it's kind of like part of like mental well-being as well as like satisfaction, happiness, all of those that we consider as well-being. So if Mud Jeans is contributing to the well-being of their customers, did they deploy any type of initiatives to kind of like participate or support that as well?
The only thing I can really think of is that we organize, for instance, beach cleanups. We did that.
Okay, so
But we also, one of the things we did is in the beginning when we talked about circularity and recycling jeans, we took on a few customers and we went to a trip to Valencia to show the whole circle of throwing jeans into the shredder and see the whole production chain and getting new yarn again. And we used our socials for that. And some other thing that I struggle with, and that's something we don't do or not enough, is, for instance, use social media on a big scale and really hard. Like after I've seen the movie about social media, that's really interesting how the well-being of your customers is not helped when you use TikTok and those kind of things. So I don't want to use TikTok, but this is a fight into my company. We are going to use it, I think.
Well, it's still open for debate. I have to leave. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you very much. Matter. See you around. Yeah.
Thank you, Steven.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. So I think social media has brought a lot, and all my competitors are using it intensively. And I struggle to, maybe I'm too old, but you know, when I see people completely addicted to their phones and watch TikTok all day long, and one of my campaigns is there, then I don't feel good. But on the other hand, you reach a lot of people. So it's a dilemma. I don't know what to do there. But maybe your outcome of your research can help us there. Sorry, Mohammad?
I was just going to say that perhaps one thing that falls under satisfaction is we've been trying in general to help people, let's say, find their most complementing fit. That's one thing. We've had fitting sessions at the store. So I don't know, like if sometimes people do need the advice, and then that contributes to your well-being, and like wearing something that you're most comfortable with, and so on. There was also more recently an alteration slash mending and so on event at
Yeah.
the store, so that people can get things more tailored to their liking and so on. So I would say, yeah, these would fall into that. Yeah, I don't know. Also, I mean,
Yeah,
if
well, yeah.
well-being.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you could also say that we offer a choice for you to wear a pair of jeans where you know that everything is transparent. We try to be as transparent as possible, which I think also adds to well-being, because at least you have a choice. If you choose to buy a pair of jeans for 20 euros and you know that everything is rotten, the whole chain, then it's a choice. But we offer something else, and we are proud about it, and also hope that you will, as a consumer, will feel good about it. Does that say?
Yeah.
Is
Also,
that?
we've broken the barrier for entry with the Lisa jeans. I would say like that.
Yeah.
For some people,
True.
it might be like a bit difficult, in one go to allocate that amount of money for a pair of jeans, but they can afford to spend that amount of money every month and so on. So it does definitely break the barrier of what is like the green premium that often is associated with like more circular products or better products. So yeah, that's consuming with lesser guilt. That's something I would say, it might help for any sustainability conscious person. Like, for example, myself, I feel less, it contributes to my well-being buying, well, as Bert said earlier, one of the main points is like, okay, it's actually good for your health because of we know that we have zero uh,
Toxic.
toxic chemicals being used and so on, but also then from a consumption standpoint that you're not you're contributing to something that is better than fast fashion.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Mohammed. It was an excellent answer. Thanks.
How many companies did you already interview, Nora? For
We're interviewing, like for now, it's only 3 because our interviews started close to the holidays, so that's why. But in January, we have more interviews lined up. So we are interviewing different business models. For example, we're interviewing Lush company as well. So it's part of the archetypes or the business models that we're studying.
Okay. And where are you staying? Are you in London at the moment?
No, actually, I'm based in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. And do you do this with a group of students? I'm just curious, sorry.
Yes,
Is-
yes.
no.
We are a team. We're a team of 5, and we're doing this research. And basically, after like doing the analysis, and we will kind of like figure out which business model that really contribute to the greatest well-being. And basically, that's the entire research.
Okay. And we are, of course, very interested in these outcomes. So if you could keep in touch with Mohammed and send us your
Definitely,
thesis or and this is also for
definitely.
you and Jess and Mol. We're
Yes, of
always
course.
interested to learn. And we had in the late, I forgot to say this, but we do this now for 10 years, these webinars. So we've seen millions of young people thinking about sustainability and circularity about clothing, and gave us a ton of inspirational insights and knowledge also. So
I
it helps us a
think
lot if you.
no,
Sorry?
definitely. We're gonna be more than happy to share it. I'll definitely take the contact of Mohammed in order to send it. But one of the like you answered the question that I've asked, which is what one of the initiatives that you do for customer well-being, and I think this webinar contribute to that.
Yeah.
So that would be considered an initiative because like I don't know many companies that does webinar and open up for students and researchers and like have that like interaction, like the direct interaction. So that's one initiative, I think. And it's just like, if I would to measure it, I will say how many webinars you did through the year, and like what are the
A lot.
positive, yeah, what are the positive feedback like from all of the attendees, you know? And this is an initiative that is contributing to the well-being of your customers, or not direct customers. Yeah.
Yeah. But we ask a lot back also. At the end of this webinar, I will tell you what to do. That's going to be pay time for you. So I can tell you now, it's actually like everything on socials. Follow us on Facebook and Insta. Buy our jeans, wear our jeans with pride when you present your research method. You'll get the discount code. It might help. So yeah, we're here also to.
That's awesome. We're happy to do it free of charge.
No, without joking, actually, this webinar started because when we launched Lisa Jeans in 2013, and we became a B Corp in 2015, we sort of ended up in economic books and things like. So we had a lot of people calling me saying, "Okay, I would like to interview you for a thing." And I said, "Okay, I can all day long answer students, which I love to do, but I have to sell jeans in the meantime also." So then one of our advisory board members came and said, "You know what you do, Bert, just tell them to gather every month, first Monday of the month at 3 o'clock and do a webinar." And that was actually a great idea because we make students happy. And for me, it's just 1 hour in which I can reply. Normally we have more attendances, but so it's a win-win anyhow. Let's go to Jesse. Sorry, I'm rattling along. Jesse.
No
How can I
problem.
answer?
We are the lucky ones today. And what are your thoughts about the EPR, the extended producer responsibility?
Yeah, the UPV
Yeah.
in Dutch. But there's a
I-
lot of, first of all, there's a lot of good. I've been fighting for an even playing field for years now, because people ask me, "Okay, what would you need?" And besides money, of course, we need a level playing field, and that means also that everybody has to join, not only the companies like ours, but also consumers, but also governments. And governments now, and in the best way, I think Europe is doing some good things, is introducing some laws like the CSRD and the EPR, and all those laws are helping us. But it's a little bit late in my eyes, and it's also there has to be a follow-up, and that also goes for EPR, because I think, of course, what we want is an EPR. You know, extended producer responsibility should be normal. As you as a company and the industry, I think, should be responsible what you put into the market. And it has to be repairable, and it has to be taken back, and the raw materials should be, that should be the law, you know. If you take electronics, there's so much gold and copper and I don't know what in old phones and old things. So people like Fairphone or people that recycle old phones, that's the solution. I don't think there's a better solution than implementing a circular economy. And EPR is only one of the laws implemented now, and the French are also implementing even more laws and more difficult ones, more severe ones. That's what we need. We need, you know, it's not going to happen because Mudjeans does a circular denim, or because you are buying maybe because we put all our clients into different shades. So we say, for instance, the dark green client, that's the customer we find, and he will buy a pair of jeans, we'll get it at home, we'll fit it, and we'll say it's not perfect, but I'll keep it because it's a pair of mud jeans. We don't want that. We want to deliver the perfect jean. So, and we want to reach the light green customer, we say now, and that's the customer that thinks about the environment and has been on holiday in Italy and saw hailstones coming down in August and thinks there's something wrong, you know. So there are people, a lot of people are thinking about there's something happening in the world and I want to do something different. But how do I do that? And this is also maybe the well-being of customers, that we offer a solution there. But to get back to your question, yeah, EPR is great, and I wish It was done before. It's here now, and it has to be followed up. There has to be, how do you say that in England? In English, it has to be gehandhaafd. How would you translate that into English?
Yeah.
There has to be control of that. There has to be, companies that don't follow the EPR. There has to be something, and that's not happening yet. So for instance, either we should be helped. I'll give you an example. I'll try to make this clear what I mean. It's because we get all jeans back, and you've paid for those jeans, and you've paid a price, including VAT. I get those jeans back. I use the raw material again and sell a pair of jeans again to you. And if I use 40% raw material, which already has been VAT, let's say, then I should be able to give you a 40% discount on the VAT. It's my mind going wild, but I proposed this 12 years ago to the government, been to see. They laughed at me and said, "It's not possible." But that's the only solution. If you don't help companies that start using recycled material and there's no favor or something better, either you did this or you charge products that don't have any recycled material in it with a higher percentage of VAT or I don't know what. If this is not happening, then we will not survive as a company. But that's one of the examples. Is that answering your question about EPR?
Yeah, I understand. It was a common question, but thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, more questions. You're muted still. Doesn't matter.
I'm
Happens
sorry.
to
I'm
me all
sorry.
the time. ahead.
No, but you also answered my question about the future of fashion industry, and I think it's really clear where your company stands for, and it's really good to see. And I
Nora.
don't have any more questions.
Nora has a lot of questions. Nora from Saudi Arabia. Go ahead.
No, like this is the last question, and I think you answered part of it. And it was the key challenges that you face in balancing consumer well-being with environmental sustainability and financial sustainability. And you mentioned that earlier with the cost a little bit. So that was the question that I had like last on my list.
Okay. And would you think there's a market for sustainable jeans in Saudi Arabia?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like the market is booming here, and a lot of people are more aware about sustainability and how it impacts. And that's where like the Vision 2030 is heading, right? Like we're diversifying our economy. So I think, yeah.
So are there stores in Saudi Arabia that sell, for instance, Fairphone or Tony Chocolonely chocolate or things like that?
No. Yeah, Tony Chocolonely chocolate. Yes.
Okay.
But
That's a
yeah,
start.
that's we have that. But like other than that, like for clothing, not really. But we have the major brands, but would love to see other brands as well, like Mud Jeans as well, entering the market here.
Okay, let's try.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Any more questions? All good?
No, not so far. All good. Oh,
good.
can I get the record of the meeting? So
Yes,
I
you
can
can.
listen back.
Yeah, keep in touch with Mohammed, and we will also, you can see all these webinars on our YouTube channel. Also with other movies about our the bleach cleanup, for instance, the things we've done before. I don't know, we've been posting lately on our YouTube channel, maybe, Mohammed? I think only this
No, like last month we restarted posting on our YouTube channel. Before that, it was mostly on our SharePoint, so it would be a link that people could find. But I mean, if there's a specific, I don't know, topic and so on, maybe I can direct you to something about it. But concerning today, yeah, I should be able to post the link sometime in the next few days.
So the discount code is walk the talk altogether. I might write that down for you. Does this work? There you go. And there's also an ambassador program. Would be nice if you had a look into that. And well, like everything on Facebook and Insta, that would help us a lot. And get our newsletter. It's quite interesting. We write about a lot of stuff. That's all. And have a great day.
Thank you very much. You too.
Very much.
Thank you.
Bert and Mo.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mohammed.
Thank
See you later.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Pleasure meeting you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.